Hi everyone and welcome back to the StudyTube Project. My name's Lydia and today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a budget as a student. Firstly, a few disclaimers. Obviously, I am not a financial advisor, however, I did study accounting in my first year at university, so this knowledge is based off what I learned in that module. Also, this video is in no way meant to be any way insensitive. I know money can be a bit of a sensitive topic at the moment, and I know that lots of people's financial situations are not what they normally would be. However, this video is supposed to be purely educational. And finally, as the title suggests, this video is tailored to a student lifestyle and how to make a budget as a student, because I myself am a student, like I know lots of you guys are too. So a budget is a short-term or long-term financial plan, and it's normally tailored towards whatever goal you'd want to achieve, whether that be long-term savings, short-term savings, just covering your expenses. They serve a different purpose for everyone, and therefore lots of people's can be different. For example, I do my budgets on a monthly basis, however I know some people like to do them on a weekly basis for a more detailed and in-depth look at their finances, but for this video I'm going to be doing it in my way, which is a monthly way. However, I'm sure you could adapt this to a weekly basis if that's how you receive your income or how you want to control your finances. So firstly, before starting to make your budget, you need to evaluate your current financial position. So grab your bank statements, download them, fish them out a cupboard, I don't know, wherever you put them, and have a look at your monthly income and your monthly expenses. As you go through and look at the things I'm just about to talk about, it's a really good idea to make a spreadsheet or a table as you go along so you can visually see all of your finances in one place. So firstly, look at your monthly income. If this varies, then take an average of the past few months or the past year, and also use the figure after tax. I know if you're receiving like your typical paycheck, then employers normally take away the tax for you. However, I'm self-employed, so I have to calculate an average for my tax, but it's different for everyone. Also, I know lots of students don't have an income because they don't have the time to balance a job and studies. So if that's the case, then you can do exactly the same thing just with your student loan. Okay, so now you need to evaluate your expenses, and I normally do this in order of priority. So firstly, I start with living costs such as rent, bills, phone contract, basically things that you need to spend on a monthly basis. Then I look at other living costs such as food, and this is not food when you go out to eat. I mean, this is the money that you spend on food shops to fill your fridge and to make meals at home. Other living costs could be things such as travel expenses, whether that be a bus pass or a train card, or car costs. I personally don't have a car, so I don't know a lot about this, but things such as insurance, petrol. And then the last thing to look at is your personal costs. So this can be things such as gym memberships, clothes that you're buying, nights out, meals out with friends. Then lastly, the third category on your spreadsheet should be savings. However, I'm going to talk about this later on in the video, so don't worry about that right now. So calculate how much you're spending on each of these areas and then put them into a spreadsheet. This is a great way to visualize how you are spending your income, and once you can see this, now is the time to get strategic and start actually planning your budget. So go through each of the areas and evaluate, are you spending too much money in that area? Are you spending just enough and you're doing fine? And start to make a list of any changes that you want to make. So for example, you might be spending a lot of money on Ubers when you could just get the bus, or you might be eating out a lot when you could just eat the food at home. Then decide on a number that you ideally want to cut these costs down to. These numbers will then form your budget. However, don't change the figures on the original spreadsheet that you made. Make a new blank spreadsheet, just using the same categories as your previous one. Then by inputting your financial goals onto a new spreadsheet, you are essentially creating a budget. And then on a monthly basis, you can compare your budget, which is your planned performance, to your actual performance, which is how much money you actually spent. So now onto savings. I know as a student, not everyone has the privilege of having money to set aside for savings. I'm in a very fortunate position that I have a job, which is YouTube, that provides me with a good wage, so I can save. However, by evaluating your finances and going through each category in the way that I just spoke about, you will probably find that you can cut down on some costs which means you can save that money instead. So personally, I think there are two ways to go about savings. The first one is to set a goal, and this is normally a percentage of your income on a monthly basis. Obviously, don't set the goal too big that you can't cover your essential expenses. However, a little bit can go a long way, and I think as a student and just in life in general, it's really good to have a financial backup if you ever incur some random expenses, or just so you can save for long-term things such as maybe a holiday. The second way you could go about it is you can use the money that you have saved by cutting down on some of your expenses such as your personal costs to then put into savings. By doing this, you won't be tempted to spend the money on just random things, and you can instead receive interest on it or invest it into a longer term thing such as a holiday or just something more meaningful. As a student, I don't think it's necessary to have any sort of like fancy investment bank accounts. Personally, I have a Help to Buy ISA. I know you can't get those anymore, but other ISAs are available, and I use this for long-term savings because it's quite difficult to get the money out of, and also it receives high interest. However, other bank accounts such as an everyday saver can work just as well. Everyday savers don't receive a lot of interest, but the money is still really easy to access if you need it short term, but it still separates it from your normal bank account, so it does act as a savings. So once you've got those three categories down, your income, your expenses and your savings, the last thing I put on my spreadsheet is a surplus row. So this is basically the money that is left over once you have deducted your savings and your expenses from your income. And this money, you can do pretty much whatever you want with it. You could put it into savings, you could invest it in something, you could buy something nice for yourself, basically whatever you like. So I hope this video hasn't been too confusing and it's been helpful for creating a budget if you are a student, and please let me know if it has been useful. Make sure to also subscribe to the StudyTube Project channel and follow our other social medias that will be linked down below in the description. Bye guys!